Hi there, folks. So, another color process video. I hope you're enjoying hearing me yammering over them rather than just the typical video game music I'd have playing in the background. Anyways, today's comic, as I mentioned in the typed up process post, was quite the pleasant surprise for me, as it's been the most painless comic for me to draw in a while, in at least the last couple of weeks. Just whatever it's been about the last 2 weeks or so, trying to draw comics has been, oh, as I said yesterday, or as I said 2 days ago, I should say, has been like pulling hair or pulling teeth, trying to get drawing done. Whereas this, it once I got to work, it just almost drew itself. As I like to say when the drawing goes well. I suppose part of that comes down to my going for this really simplistic kind of style where I didn't add any hatching or anything, despite my temptation to do so, and leading into the actual color process, due to the how clean the line work was, I decided I would render everything mostly in flats. As you can see in the final piece, there are some subtle gradients here and there, but for the most part, everything you see is just flat colors. I Doing everything flat, I find I can have problems with, because it's it's like when you do a drawing and you feel you have to fill in everything with detail, like put in lots of hatching or lots of needless little details everywhere. And similarly with coloring, I always worry that, like, when everything is flat, that it'll look too plain. you know I think that, everything needs to be beautifully rendered, but I'm sure you'll agree with me that the final result for today's comic, it actually looks pretty nice. It's actually one of the better looking coloring jobs I think I've done in a while, thankfully. Um, as for the actual color choices I used, again, as I've said before, it's just a matter of me laying down some base colors and then tinkering with those and seeing what colors work out of that. As you can see, I started with like a blue all over the piece, because I was thinking rainy day, so therefore it would be kind of like gray and overcast. So I was going for this kind of blue gray look to everything. However, once I started adding the shading effects to the backgrounds, I just decided to just toy again with the base colors, and there was something about the kind of pinkish, light red, purpley almost color that just looked really nice to me, especially in conjunction with the kind of the blue shading on top of that. Um, like I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but there's these rainy days where it's kind of there's this strange quality to the light where it's both dark yet it's bright at the same time. Um, I find it very hard to explain what I mean by that, but the colors in this, I suppose, are my way of getting that quality, that kind of atmosphere across. The the one thing I must point out to you, and I don't really go into this much in these color process posts, and I really should, is one of the best features of Photoshop for me is the ability to do a thing with the line layer or any layer for that matter, but I use it a lot for line layers, is clicking the lock transparency uh, symbol. Which, okay, if you look at the layers on the right, if you look up at the very top, uh, let's see, one, two, three, yeah, three columns down, or rows down, I should say, you'll see there's like a few symbols, and on the left there's lock, and the left handmost symbol, the kind of a almost like checkerboard symbol, when you selected a layer and you click that, it basically it well, I mean, as I said, it locks transparency. What that means is any elements on that layer, be it like a batch of color, be it line work, it allows you to color over that, like just like color over it, like with a paint, well, digital paintbrush or whatever, and it'll mean that nothing outside of what's on that layer will get colored. So in the case of line work, what that means is you can basically paint in the line work without worrying about like coloring anything else. So it makes it very quick and easy to like colorize line work, which I like to do a lot. I find colorizing line work is a good way to it just kind of ties everything together more. I find. I mean, even if I don't do much of it in a comic, by default with all of my comics, what you see when you see the like the black lines and similar lines. I don't know what I'm saying. When you sorry, I'm fumbling over myself here. But yeah, when you see the like the various black lines in my comics, what you're seeing isn't actually black. I go for just a slightly off black, kind of like a very, 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 very dark, desaturated navy color. As for why I do that, I don't know. I think it just looks nice, and I just anytime I look at my colors with just plain black line art on top, it never looks right to me. So I do that with all my comics. But on top of that, I will also use like the lock transparency to give me nice kind of like color effects with the line work. So, for example, in the fourth panel with the rain falling down, I decided to color each of like the rain lines white. Now it took a while, but you know it's still a lot faster doing it with the lock transparency on than it would be to try and do it all manually. Say, I also like the walls of the house and the some of the line work on the water spout. Like I colored them in. Like what I do is I select the color that's below the line work that I want to color, um, or rather I use the eyedropper tool on the color that's below the line art. I select that color and then I'll darken that color just a bit, and then I'll use that color to colorize the line work. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to say about this one. Really happy with it, as I'm sure you can tell. I actually really enjoyed coloring this one. Like it was one of those cases where it didn't feel like work. I just genuinely enjoyed my time with this one. So I hope you liked it as much as I did. Anyways, thanks very much for listening, and I'll see you next time.